Formulators. Welcome back to Astarie Apothecary. It's your girl, Astarie. Welcome to day 2 of Vlogmas with our first real, actual, nitty-gritty video. Yesterday's video was just a little introduction. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Today we're doing something a little bit different. This isn't a formula tutorial. This is just sort of a make with me video, while I also give a little bit of information about how you can possibly make your own nail polish if that is something that you've been wanting to do. So there's not a lot of videos on YouTube about making nail polish from scratch, so to speak. So I just wanted to do my own little video. There are quite a few videos on mixing pre-made nail polish and things like that, but not a lot about making it yourself from a base and mixing in pigments and yada yada yada. So we're gonna do that today. I thought that would be a lot of fun to talk about. So these are 4 nail polishes that I released this Black Friday, which I'm super excited about. I haven't released nail polish in probably 5 or 6 years. It's been a while. So I'm going to go over what those colors are real quick, and definitely if you're interested in anything that you see in this video, they'll be all linked below, as well as everything else that's in the shop. Holidays are coming, you know the drill. Anyway, so the first color, I'll just go ahead and talk about that now. That will be our purple color, which is my favorite color, which is Sugar Plum. And this is a shifting, pearlescent, shimmery purple with a little bit of glitter. It has a bit of a shift, so it goes a little gold, a little purple, depending on the light, as well as, of course, the glitter that's in there catches the light. Oh, I love it. I wanted to do some jewel tones for the winter time, so I have a purple, and then I also have a blue, since we're talking about those jewel tones. That is another one that sort of shifts. It's a silvery blue color. We call that winter blue. And then we also have a nude, one of many. This is the first of many because we are not all the same color nude, right? So this one is called Cafe Ole, and it pretty much looks the way my coffee looks. But it is a cementy light tan brown color, and it's what you call a cream polish. So it is going to be very opaque. It's not shimmery. It has no glitter. It's just a very beautiful cream finish. And then our final one, which is called Those Christmas Lights, is a glitter topper. So it has a holographic silvery color, a gold, a red, and a green glitter in a clear base that is great for over top of another color, stand alone, whatever you decide. All of these still do need base coat, top coat, all of the normal things. But the glitter, of course, you can use on its own, but you can also layer over other colors, and it will be very beautiful. So those are the colors that we'll be working on today. So to get started, I'm going to give you a list, and I'll have the list in the description box below, but of things that you'll need if you want to get started making nail polish. So very first and foremost, you definitely have to have a mask, a respirator mask, something that works on fumes, and I will link the mask that I like to use. I use it when I make products with airborne surfactants. I use it when I make nail polish. I use it for anything that could possibly be irritating to my throat, nose, all of the above. So you definitely want to have a mask. Nail polish, as we all know, has a very strong smell, and if you're using the base, which is highly concentrated, you're getting a concentrated version of that smell, and we don't want to be smelling that too long. So definitely a mask. Next, along the same lines, would be gloves. The gloves that I have on are not my preferred gloves. I just didn't have any other ones. Nitrile gloves are much better. They do not break as easy, and they are less prone to breaking down from corrosive materials. Not that they won't, but they don't as easily. Nail polish base is corrosive, so you want to keep that in mind with whatever you're using. You absolutely need to have a scale, as you see me using there. When you are making colors, whether it's nail polish, whether it's foundation, whether it's lip gloss, anything like that, you definitely want to pay attention to weighing or measuring every single thing that you add and then writing it down. So that brings me to the next thing that you definitely want to have, which is a notebook, a pen, or a pencil, and write down everything that you do. If you add an extra pinch of something, write it down, because there is nothing worse than loving a color and realizing you didn't write it down, and now you have no idea how you made it. Maybe you have somewhat of an idea, you know you added this or you added that, but you don't know how much, and it's very difficult to get the same color again. So every iteration of something, make sure you take notes and you label it. All of my colors, I put a number on them, and then my swatch stick also has that same number, and then I label my recipe that I write down with that same number. So I always know, even if it's like, say, because I made multiple versions of this purple. So I have, this is number 1, so I have 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, how many ever versions I have, but that way I know which one is which, because maybe I didn't want that color this time, but I go back and I look at it and I say, this will work for this collection, and now I know how to make it. Okay, so that I also mentioned you'll want to have swatch sticks, and I will link everything that I can think of, either from Amazon or TKB or any other supplier down in the description box. I will have a nails Amazon list linked below for anything that you can get from Amazon. So you also want to make sure that you have a protected surface. So in my case, I am working on a stainless steel table. That works for me. I also do have paper towels. If you don't have a stainless steel table, I definitely recommend working over top of like a silicone mat or parchment paper or freezer paper, something that is non-stick. Again, it's nail polish. We know it dries, it sticks, it's hard to remove. That's the way that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to stay put. So cleaning it can be a little bit difficult if you don't wipe it immediately, which will bring me to our little mixing containers. These are actually medicine cups, but they have on the bottom, in most plastic, there is a number within these this little triangle of arrows that will tell you what type of plastic it is or what it cannot be used for. And this has a number 5, which means that it can be used with hot materials as well as certain corrosive materials. I use that same number material when I'm mixing sodium hydroxide to make soap, right? When I mix my lye, I use that same number to look at what type of container I can use. So you definitely want something strong, because what you don't want to have happen is you're mixing your color and then suddenly your cup falls apart because the base ate away at it and dissolved it. I don't know anything about that happening. No way. So moving on. All right. So you also want to have some stir sticks. Now, for me, I find it much easier to use disposable, and there's that color. You can see that little bit of a shift in the light. To use disposable materials. You can use silicone and then let the nail polish dry and then you can pull it off. That does work. Right now, I don't have those things, so I am using a lot of disposable items because cleaning it is just not, it's not gonna work for me. If you're making larger batches, you definitely want a mini mixer. I will link the one from TKB that I really like, but you'll just want to make sure that you're wiping it immediately after you use it so that you can get that nail polish off before it dries. You're also going to want, of course, your nail polish base, and that's what I'm pouring right now. There are different types of bases from different companies. The one that I'm using suspends glitter as well as micas or pigments. And of course, you can also mix in liquid pigments. I prefer to use this because if I want to use glitter, then I know that it will be suspended. If I don't use glitter, it'll still work great. I love how it finishes on the nails. It dries quickly. I test my colors all the time, and I don't do a full manicure. So I don't do base coat. I don't do top coat. I don't do any of that. So, but it still stays on my nails for a long time. And again, I make products, so I'm constantly washing my hands, taking off gloves, all those things, and it still lasts. Of course, it will last longer if you do all the proper steps. So, but again, there are so many different types of bases. There's another base that is just going to be able to handle mica, and it's not going to be able to handle glitter. The glitter will fall to the bottom. So you definitely want to make sure that if you want to use glitter, like what I'm using here, you want to have a glitter suspension base. You want it to stay suspended in your polish so that it doesn't all sink to the bottom. You also, of course, will need bottles. Nail polish, you absolutely have to have glass bottles, again, to prevent it from corroding or eating away at the material. And then those bottles should have a brush and a lid, of course. You also want to have stainless steel mixing balls, and they definitely need to be stainless steel so that they, again, do not get corroded and eaten away inside of your nail polish. This will help you keep it mixed if it's sitting for a little bit. And let's see, I think I mentioned swatch sticks, some sort of label so you can identify your polish later. You might want to have some nail polish remover just to clean up any accidents. And with that, then you'll want like cotton swabs, lint-free wipes, something. As far as your colors, the sky is the limit. As long as it is cosmetic approved, you can go crazy. This is an instance where you can use neons in the United States, glitters, micas, pigments. Keeping in mind, dry pigments are harder to fully blend into your nail polish base. I plan on doing a video later showing how I mix some neons, but there's a technique. Basically, you're going to have to wet your neon first and then mix it into your base, but I will show you that later. With your glitter, it is very important to make sure that your glitter is solvent resistant. And basically, again, it's just going to keep from eating away at the plastic. Regular craft glitter, it will get eaten up and it will get nasty and clumpy and seep color and all sorts of things into your polish. You don't want that. Now, some glitters still may leach a little bit of color off of them, and a little bit is not bad. But what you don't want is for the plastic, those plastic, like I said, craft glitters. They're just going to disintegrate, and that's going to make a horrible polish. You don't want that. So you want to make sure it's solvent resistant. And even if it says solvent resistant, I would still take a little bit, put it in a container, in a throwaway container or something, and let it sit and see how long it takes, if it does any color leaching. How bad does it get? Does it melt the actual glitter? Or, you want to test all of those things in a long term, so that your customer will be getting a solid product. Or even if it's just for you, you still don't want to come back a month later and it's all melted and disgusting, right? So those are the materials that you'll need. You definitely want, I think I mentioned that already, definitely want to scale, and you want to write everything down. And when it comes to color mixing, the sky is the limit. Enjoy yourself, have fun. So basics for what I do is, if I'm not using any liquid colors, I will use the amount that I need to fill my jar. So for instance, my jars are 15 milliliter, which is about half an ounce. So that is the measurement that I use to measure out my base. And I'll use a little bit more just so I have enough to account for maybe not scraping every single bit out of my container. Now, if I am using a liquid color, I will use a little less base and make up that difference with the liquid color. And depending on what color I want is going to depend on how much of the liquid color that I use. And so I will have to adjust my base amount accordingly. So if I find that I only need like 0.1 ounces of liquid color, then that means that I'm going to use 0.1 less of base, right? The powders, you don't have to take away from the base in order to mix those in. It's not quite the same as when you do like a formula where it needs to all equal 100%. You can do it that way, but I find that this is a lot simpler and easier. So that's our blue. Oh, look at that shifting powder. It is so pretty, and I wish that I could get it better in the camera, but it's really pretty. Let's see, what other information can I give you? So there are all types of colors that you can use. There's magnetic, there's chrome, there's auras, aurora, I think that's what they call them. Chameleon colors. There are so many different types of colors, and honestly, it's going to take a lot of experimentation and playing around. So I would definitely suggest not to get super expensive bottles. Get small, tiny bottles where you can just make a little bit and test things out and not waste things, and just see what you like, what you don't like. Maybe you're a glitter person, maybe you don't like glitter, maybe you like creamy polishes, which are the ones that are usually very opaque, single color, they don't have a shine to them. Those usually have a white base to get them to that point. Let's see. While the final bottles are getting mixed up, I will talk about the different types of polishes. So I already mentioned a cream. Like I said, it usually starts off with a white base and then color added, and it is very opaque, but it doesn't usually have a shimmer. Now you could add a shimmer to it, but usually it doesn't have a shimmer or a glitter. It's just a straight color. Those are usually your nudes and just some of your really opaque, which means that you can't see through them, just really pretty colors. You have a crelly, which is a blend between a cream and a jelly, and it's sort of see-through but not 100%. That usually does have a little bit of white or some other base color in it. You'll see those sometimes mixed with glitters, and with that tiny bit of white, it kind of helps the glitters pop a little bit more. Those are really pretty, so it looks milky instead of being completely unable to see through it. It looks a little milky. And then jellies look like jelly. They look clear, but whatever color they may be, so a red or a purple or whatever, but you can see through them, and those are a lot of fun depending on what type of effect you'd like to get. There are plenty more, but those are just a couple of basics. So like I said, one of the videos in this series, I'm going to do a neon just to show you a little bit about mixing up pigment that may be difficult to blend in. And then maybe I will show you the different types of polishes that you can make and just experiment with how to make them. So I will have this information typed up in a sort of blog style downloadable PDF on my brand new Patreon. I have been sitting on this Patreon for quite a while. So many of you have asked me to create one, and I really didn't want to do one that was video based because I don't always create video content. But I do work on formulas. I do find information about ingredients. I do test things out, experiment. I like to do deep dives into information about ingredients and things like that. So that information will be available there. I have a slot open for people to help me test formulas. You'll get early access to any new formula that I might be working on, as well as the opportunity to make the formula, tell me what you think, see if there's anything that needs to be changed, see how it works for you, and give me your feedback. And there is, of course, just a basic help support me in the channel so I can buy ingredients, to do more testing, to give you guys more information. And let's see what else. There is a level for those who may want to actually receive products. So every month I will send a few products that I've decided to make for you. They may be iterations of new formulas, something I just wanted to make a few of, anything like that. And there will be, some will be exclusives to the box where they won't be available anywhere else. Some of them will be things that may come out in the future. So I'll leave a link for that in the description box below. But if you would like more of a detailed, written out, so you can save it and read it up later information, definitely join the Patreon, and that will be available. But that's basically it. I am going to finish pouring these in, and then the next little part, I decided to give you a little ASMR of me labeling these. So hopefully you enjoy that, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check all the links in the description box below, and subscribe, leave me a comment, like please, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys.